Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Investing and Trading Live. Today is August 22nd, Tuesday to be exact, and we have a nice move in the market here today, especially a nice drop with Dick's Sporting Goods. We're going to cover that today. Welcome to the show. We are going to do a few things today. We're going to do a complete market overview since we didn't do a complete one yesterday. Look at the major stock markets, major indexes, some different stocks. We'll look at some currencies, some different commodities, and cover the current market conditions of the market. We'll look at some news. There was earnings this week. Again, Dick's Sporting Goods, as I had mentioned, it had just completely plummeting here after earnings here, but we'll cover that in a second. Also, since yesterday we did pillars of a trade or of successful trading and investing, we'll recap that just to make sure that we understand that in all of your trades and investments, so you're making the smart investing decisions no matter which way this market goes. That being said, there is risk in trading. You can and might lose money at one point in your life. This is for strictly entertainment purposes only, mainly mine, but hopefully you find this entertaining as well. As my good friend Shaquille O'Neal once said, are you not entertained? So let's get started with the overall market update, starting with the S&P 500. SPY is what we're using as a gauge for the overall markets, is the ETF for the S&P 500. And looking at the daily chart, looks like today it has gapped up, but we are dropping off out of the open here. It is currently in about 9:17 a.m. Central Time. So market's gapping up, actually pretty good, but dropping straight down. We'll see what happens here as the market continues. Yesterday also gapped up and continued to go up for the day. So we're looking at 3 positive days as an outlook, but let's see what happens as this day continues on. I still like that supply or demand zone right around the 429, 424 area. That is your S&P 500. SPY currently at 439.94. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, that's a fun one to say, currently still in that demand zone that we had been talking about, holding it. I foresee this to go through, but we will see what happens here. This is a different story. This one down about 61 cents on the day, currently at 344.06. It opened right at the close of yesterday and is continuing to drop here. So this one, a little bit of a different story. In NASDAQ is also doing a little bit something different here. It's doing something similar to the S&P 500. The QQQ ETF currently at 325.32, up about $1.42 on the day. But that being said, it gapped up pretty high. It gapped up all the way up to 366.39 roughly, and just has been dropping ever since the open. So the NASDAQ looking a little bit better, but yet the weakness is coming into the market here. It's coming off of a supply zone on a 1-hour chart, but let's see what that does here moving forward. IWM is a Russell, also gapping up but straight down, actually negative on the day, about 26 cents, currently at 184.12. That is your major overall index market. Let's look at gold and silver. Actually, before we do that, I want to look at the volatility index. Volatility is creeping up here today after 2 days of it slowing down and going down a little bit, but currently volatility index is at $17.23, which is up from the lows of the year about 36%. So that's a big jump in volatility. So we will scan for opportunities in the options market. As we speak here, I'll get my options platform ready, and we'll see if there's any opportunities with that, especially Dick's Sporting Goods. I like to see what's going on with that one. All right, so that is your major overall stock index update. All right, so let's look at a couple other ETFs. I want to look at USO, which is the ETF for oil, currently at $72.55, down the last 2 days, really consolidating around that $71 to $73 area. So that one's slowing down just a little bit. The CL, which is oil, is going to do something very similar, but let's go back. So here's something interesting. XLE is actually up on the day, so that's not exactly following the trend, but still yet these markets are up bigly on the last couple months here. So that is XLE. Some major movers, nothing real big as far as major movers in the ETF market or sector, the ETFs. Nothing special. XLP is down about 0.5%, so no big deal on the ETFs here today. Let's get into some commodities. Looking at oil, currently at $80.14 per barrel. This is priced in per barrels, not per share. Futures market's open 24 hours a day. We'll call it 23, but we'll call it 24 to make it easy. So we talked about that on the show. I believe that was on Sunday morning or Saturday afternoon. We talked about the overall market times as far as stock market, futures, and Forex Central Time. So that being said, let's move on to corn. Corn price is down today about $3 and about 0.25%, 0.75%. Okay, getting into a contract switch here coming up here on the 30th of August. This one continuing to drop here, getting to the lows really all the way back until January of 2021. Really coming off those highs from last year. Gold is down $1.29, which is not much. It's 0.6%, whoop-de-doo. And currently at 1,893.25. Continuing this little downtrend, still yet in between our supply and our demand zone. It's been, we'll call it a no man's land. I do like the area down at 1824 to 1810, or the area up to 2008 or 2021. So we will continue to monitor this. It's not giving us any major trends here yet. It is down from the highs. I believe that was May. Yep, beginning of May. Silver currently at $23.30. I do like my physical silver, so we're looking good there. Coming down near that demand zone, but respecting is really getting close to it, but it must be pretty strong because it keeps going up on that. So it's down on the day, but it is right at current price. That's your silver market. So interesting thing here. So Bitcoin just completely cratering last week, dropping all the way down to about 24,670 area, and currently at 26,037 even. So this market really dropping, gosh, last week 15%, and I forget what the news was. It was something with Coinbase, if I'm not mistaken. But Bitcoin not looking too hot for that. Interesting. Ethereum also down $11 on the day. Same thing. This one dropped last week about 18%. So just, gosh, it's not good at all for that market. Okay. Solana, actually, let's look at HNT. HNT, unfortunately, is just down ever so slightly. I've been mining this. A really good project, mining 5G cell network. And actually, let me pull my handy-dandy Twitter feed up. Had a nice article from Twitter on helium. Now that it is live. Where is that? I believe it is live now in Miami. So it's time for a change. The $5 unlimited plan is here, starting in Miami. So I mentioned that last week, that helium is now currently live in Miami with a $5 per month plan for unlimited minutes. Let's see if I can read what's going on here. Helium Mobile shared a vision of a future where connectivity is affordable and acceptable to all. Today, we are taking a crucial step towards achieving that vision as the world's first people's carrier. The $5 unlimited plan is available as of today exclusively in Miami. We're launching a single city to continue our scale. To continue to scale our unique coverage model that combines our partners' nationwide 5G network with the people-built open-source Helium Mobile network. So basically, us as people are providing the cell network. I have a cell in my home. You can put them on top of your homes or whatever that may be and provide coverage. So it says, seriously, $5. Yes, that's right. It's not a typo. $5 a month plus tax and fees. Get your unlimited talk, text, and data. For some of you, that's up to 95% less than what you're paying now. How is that possible? Let's talk about it. So it's got a whole bunch of stuff here. It's a great article on helium. I'm going to actually read this whole thing. I haven't got a chance to do that after we're done with the show here today, so I can get some more information on that for you tomorrow as we do a show tomorrow. Okay, let's move on to our stocks. BHG up 40 cents on the day, about 4.59% on the day. Still yet a dog. Woof, woof. Not looking good for BHG. NVIDIA down about $7 on the day, 1.65%. I don't know what they had. They have earnings on the 23rd of this month, tomorrow. So earnings of NVIDIA tomorrow. So those of you trading in NVIDIA, be very careful. That'll be a volatile stock tomorrow. As my good friend Merlin says, it might be a popcorn trade of the day. Who knows? That is NVIDIA. Tesla up $4, which is about 2% on the day. Nice job, Tesla, but it gapped up much higher and just went straight down on there. So let's see what the news was today. Tesla stock has been dead money for some investors. Interesting. Very interesting that they say that after a drop or after it cruises up. Meta up 55 cents in the day, not much of a mover. No big moves. Google up $1.28. Looking at 3M here today. 3M continuing to plummet down to $98.60. Not too hot for 3M from the highs. Gosh, 3M from their highs are down. I can't even go back to how far it's down. Well over 60%. So not looking good for 3M yet. Then again, I believe they're a good company, but it's an old company. About 62% down. JP Morgan down 1 point or down almost 1% on the day, and rounding everything out. AMC, we're not going to pay attention to that, up 23 cents. No, here we go. Nordstrom's. This is interesting. We were looking at Nordstrom's and some premium last week, weren't we? So let's look at that. Volatility is spiking, but Nordstrom's, I just didn't like the way that was falling last week. I did not get into the options. Probably still showing some good volatility, but probably not very good on the option that we were talking about. And with the way that was, there was a reason why we didn't get into that trade. But that being said, let's go and look at that. Target is actually down 12 points. So Target is actually looking exactly where we want to be with our percent Bollinger Band. We talked about yesterday. It's not an indicator to get in a trade. It's basically saying where are you at now and where could you be in the future. Kohl's actually might be showing some opportunities as well. Yesterday would have been the day. So let's look at that as we get into this. So starting with Nordstrom's, near that, it's getting down to $17.59, near that $15 strike that we were talking about. We actually might get some better premium somewhere else where it might make sense because we do have a demand zone that we had talked about, and that's why we didn't get into that trade, because the demand zone was actually lower than the strike that was offering premium. So that being said, let's go and take a look-see and see what's giving some premium here now. 31-day options. Wow, the 13s are now giving a 1%. So much better there. Let's look and see the chart. Yet this is a dog of a stock. So now the 13's offering 1%, which is bringing that down to, price needs to drop about 26% to get there to that 13, which is in the middle of our demand zone. So getting a little bit better as far as where that demand zone was. I kind of like that, but yeah, then again, I'm not going to get into this yet just because it is just completely free falling. And I don't like catching falling knives. They don't feel too hot. So that was Nordstrom's. Then again, so it is offering some premium. Target was offering some, it was actually in a 5 as far as volatility, but getting down to 123, it's probably not giving anything on the options, but we'll look anyway. The 116s are offering at least 1%, which is right there. Not too bad, but then again, we have that demand zone that is much lower, so we are going to wait on that. Sometimes no trade is a good trade. Wait for price to come to you. Costco is showing an interest area but the volatility is still low. We will look anyways. Current price is at $438.27. Costco, no, not much. Nothing to brag about. Volatility is too low there. AMC still giving some. Boy, the volatility is high. Current price $373, and offering some good premium. But $2, just a dog though. Don't even risk this. Not worth it. All right, and let's look at Kohl's. The day would have been yesterday, where the volatility spiked. Could have had a nice play there, but that being said, price is down again today. Kohl's current price $26.76. So the 20s are offering at least 1%, which is pretty far down there, but we do have a demand zone much lower that we had talked about a long time ago that it bounced off of already. That being said, the 20s are offering a pretty good primo. Let's see what the Kohl's needs to drop another 27% to get there. That'll be something we might look at. I do like that. And actually, we have a 888 mark here that we might have an opportunity of a demand zone. Let's analyze that. So 888 is just two moving averages. I'm going to mark that crossover, and we do have a demand zone on a daily chart. Let's go down to a 4-hour chart and see what that is doing. I do like that, actually. So this could be an opportunity for some potential premium here. Got a couple demand zones right there. We will come back to look at that. I'll tell you guys about that next week if we get into that trade. Not too shabby, actually. So that's an opportunity we'll continue to monitor. Some write that down. Kohl's and Nordstrom's, Wells Fargo. No, sorry, Walgreens. Still continuing to plummet. Volatility spiking up a little bit. Let's check and see if it's offering anything. 27.57. The 24s, no, the 25s are offering at least 1%, so not much. So we got a couple opportunities. We're going to scan for these. It's hard to do on the live show here today. So I'll scan these and look at the premiums and see if it makes sense as an opportunity with options. So those are some options that we will look at probably later on this week to see what we did with those. Just to sell some puts against, but very risky. Put your own risk in there. This is not a recommendation. This is strictly entertainment purposes only. All right. So that rounds out the stock update of the market. I just wanted to look at Target one more time. Just continue to drop it. So now we have broke that range that it's been in. I'm going to draw a little box here on this range that has been in here from 137 to 125. Now currently target at 123. So we have continued that downtrend. There might be some opportunities here as a buy. I do like Target long term, but then again, with the world changing, who knows what happens here with Target. So that being said, that's your market update. We talked about different stocks. We got into some options here today. We did a market overview as far as the indexes, and the market is still just a little slow today. We got Jackson Hole this week as far as some news that might impact the market. Let's peek at Forex Factory before we end the session here today and see what we have for news, for those of you that are trading here this week, to minimize any risk. We will look at that and give our opinion on the news. Where is Forex Factory? I think I talk about this every time. Whenever you try to find something, you are unable to find it when you're on a live show. Let's just type it in, Forex Factory. Okay. Today, no major news today. I think Jackson Hole must start tomorrow then. No major news for tomorrow you got flash manufacturing PMI tomorrow. So that'll be a little bit of news tomorrow for the U.S. The Euro has some news. Unemployment claims, obviously, on Thursday. Jackson Hole, actually starts on Thursday or Friday. Thursday, it looks like. And Friday, that will continue, I believe. Fed Chair Powell will speak on Friday, the 25th, at 10 a.m. Central Time, 10:05 to be exact. So be careful for some fireworks at that time. Anytime he speaks, it always brings some volatility to the market. So make sure you're protecting your positions there. If you're in short-term positions, be very careful with that. And as always, collect your profits when they are given to you. Protect your losses when they are small. Until tomorrow, retire young, my friends.